everyone, it's Emily Fox. Today's video is going to be my October book haul. I'm super excited because it's an unboxing one. I feel like I haven't done one in forever. By the way, I've had issue with my camera and I've had it repaired, which is why I haven't posted in a little while. And the lighting and like setups have been like all erased and I have to like figure it out all over again. So if it looks kind of off, that's the reason why. Bear with me. Hopefully next video will be fine. But I mean, who cares about the lighting, right? The books are just all that matters. Okay, so the only thing that I've already unboxed because I'm the least patient person ever is this book, which is Record of a Spaceborne Few by Becky Chambers. It's the last book in the Wayfarers, I think, series, and I have actually the first two right here on my shelves. The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet and A Close and Common Orbit. I've heard mixed reviews so far for the last book and I just realized all the editions are all different. I don't really have an issue with that. I feel like some people, it's like, all need to be like hardcovers. I don't care. Anyway, this is a character-driven sci-fi series. I love the first one. The second one I still liked, but I feel like it wasn't as good as the first one. And this one I've heard people say it might not be the best one either. I'm just excited to keep going in this series. I just really like the characters. I love how wholesome it is. I feel like it's not something that you see often in sci-fi. So plus really I liked all the covers. I just wanted to own the whole series. So needed to pick that up. Which, by the way, I got these ones, this one on Book Depository, and I'm so mad at them because I also ordered at the same time Vicious by V.E. Schwab, and I swear the day, like I pre-ordered it, and I feel like when you pre-order a book is to get it as soon as possible, right? And the edition that I picked sold out right away, so I contacted them and they were like, oh yeah, we just haven't received it yet. So I'm like, okay, are you like gonna cancel it? Ship me a different edition? What's going on? Like I pre-ordered because I wanted to have it as soon as possible. And they replied that, oh, you know, we'll have it soon. And I've heard nothing from them and it's been a month. I need to like harass them because I'm so mad. I wanted to read Vicious like as soon as I could and I may just have to cancel my order and get it from the library. Okay, so I got two different books from Chapters, which I'm gonna open now. Oops. Is it in your like book packages that are like this are so hard to open every single time I'm like struggling? Here you go. I feel like I had forgotten a little bit what I've ordered. That's why I don't do unboxing like these. I'm so happy to have this. This is Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. I love the Remnant Chronicles series by her, and this book is supposed to be in the same universe. Super excited to go back into it. It's one of the only, actually, series that contain romance that I enjoyed. I feel like I did a video kind of as a joke where I was sharing my favorite romance books because I've mentioned so many times how much I don't like romance, and I thought it would be interesting to see my most favorite books from my least favorite genre. And again, this is in the same universe. I love that cover. How beautiful is this? And the spine too, it's going to be beautiful on my shelves, not sleeve. I've heard actually really good things about it. I don't know anything other than that, and I just can't wait to jump into it. I feel like my slump has been better, but getting new books I've been looking forward to will probably help. And then the other one, I should have just opened these before filming because this is way too difficult. Yeah, how did I forget? I swear I have the worst memory ever. Grey Sister by Mark Lawrence. I read Red Sister last month, absolutely loved it, and I wanted to kind of like read the whole series, but the next book is only coming out next year. Plus it's the fall, so I'm like supposed to read all my fall reading. But I love the first book. Totally recommend it if you're looking for a new fantasy book that contains a lot of female characters. Basically, there are some like magical badass nuns with like a kind of magical school setting. It's just like, just that I'm always sold. So totally recommend reading it. I loved it, so I definitely needed to get the second one. I wasn't sure what edition to get, but I decided to get it at Chapters instead of Book Depository because I didn't want to wait forever to get it. So I got this edition. I don't hate it. I usually don't love people on my covers, but I'm okay with this series. Now let's go to my book outlet stuff. Oh, okay. The first book is technically a third book in a series. I do own the first one, but not the second one. But when I saw it there, I just wanted to get it because I'm hoping to read a series next year. This is a third book in the Expense series. This is Abaddon's Gate by James S. A. Corey. I just thought it was the same edition. I have the first one. And it's the edition with like the colorful stuff like on the spine and the front, and I feel like I've been struggling to find it except on Book Depository. So when I saw it on Book Outlet, I was like, yep, this is a sign that I need to get it so I can be somewhat consistent. I don't know, usually I don't care, but for some reason the fact that it's colorful, it's just very appealing to me. I haven't watched the TV show yet, but I want to read the series before doing so. And all I know so far, it's like an epic sci-fi series. I believe there's like 7 books so far out, so I'm looking forward to reading the series. And speaking of sci-fi, more sci-fi. This is The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. It's just a very classic sci-fi. I love those like SF Masterworks edition. You can kind of tell here. I've been collecting them. I've got a few like last year for Christmas and stuff, and when I saw again the same edition on Book Outlet, I just needed to grab it, and I can't wait to read it. I feel like classic sci-fi have been like hit and miss for me so far, but this is mentioned everywhere, so I just needed to own it and read it. Another one I've been looking forward to reading is The End of the Day by Claire North. I have been reading quite a few of her books. I've read the first 15 Lives of Harry August, and I've read Something Hope, and I do have Touch on my shelves too. And I feel like I've had like a complicated relationship with her books. I love her ideas or premises, but the books are a bit slower paced, more character driven than I would like considering the premise. So I'm hoping that this one will satisfy me. This one, the premise is that, I believe this one is like one of the characters' death, which is a premise I enjoy. Actually, let me read this. Sooner or later, death visits everyone. Before that, you'll meet Charlie. I don't know, it just seemed interesting, and I've been just, every single time I read about what's her next book, I'm like, you know what, even though I've had like mixed experiences, I just still want to read them, so needed to get it. I got this humongous brick of a sci-fi. This is The Reality Dysfunction by Peter F. Hamilton. This is the first book in the Night's Dawn trilogy. I had gotten the second book in this series from my library sale because I had been meaning to read more books by him because he's a well-known sci-fi author and he writes humongous books. Seriously, I'm so intimidated. There's over 1,000 pages, but you know, we've been working on me being scared by big books. Hopefully I'll get to that. But yeah, I've already have the second book on my shelf, so I thought, you know what, it's on Book Outlet. Might as well get the first one so I can actually start reading his books, because I mean, what's the point of having the second one if you don't get the first one? And it's also the same edition, so like another reason to grab it, right? This is the second book in a duology. This is Stiletto by Danielle O'Malley. And the first book I need to find on my shelf because I know that it's one of those books that I read the first sentence and I was like, I need to own this. And this was actually technically supposed to be a standalone, but then a second book came out, so I decided to grab it also. Let me find the first book because it was so intriguing. Found it. This is The Rook, which is the first book in this duology, and the first sentence is, "Dear you, the body you're wearing used to be mine." If you want me to read your book, have a first sentence like this. Actually, I'm planning a video all about like good first sentence in a book that just hook you up. So I decided to get the second book so I can just read the duology, because again, I haven't heard actually a lot of people mention these, but the reviews have been good on Goodreads, so I feel like having a second book will definitely put more pressure on me to actually finally read it. And then last but not least, I wanted to get this other book. It's also part of the Culture series by Ian M. Banks. This is the Hydrogen Sonata? I don't know. If I'm not wrong, the Culture series is basically a series of books that are like standalone. You don't have to read them in order or read all of them. They're all part of the same universe, so I wanted to get this one also. I believe this one is like way further than the ones that I have, but I have started the first one and I am enjoying it, so I decided to also grab this one since it was there. A lot of sci-fi and fantasy. I'm basically back to what I like. I feel like I've been trying to read different things and it's been so hit and miss that it's been putting me a little bit in funk, but looks like we're over this now. I hope you enjoyed this quick little book haul. Don't forget to let me know in the comment section if you have read any of these books and what you thought about them, especially if you have seen the Expanse series TV show. Is it good? I feel like I've heard great things about it. Let me know also what books you bought this month because I want to know. Don't forget to subscribe to not miss any future videos. I will be putting on the screen the videos that I've done, including the one where I mentioned my favorite romance books, which I know for me is kind of weird, but I enjoy doing that video. And I will be seeing you in a future one. Bye.